Hi there. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So it's the end of the month. It's time for an episode of new albums purchased, or album hauls if you prefer. Basically, on this show, I tell you about the stuff that I got this month that's related to the channel in some ways. Sometimes I throw hats in there too. Basically, though, no hats this week, but we did get a stack of albums. Here we are. Here's the stack. And so I'm going to do these in the normal way I do them, going from one genre to the other. So we're going to start with a pop kind of hard rock genre, I guess. I don't really know much about this album. So the album is from the Guess Who. It's called Liberty. Don't know much about it. It says it was produced in 1995. Of course, it doesn't have Burton Cummings, Randy Bachman on it. It does have some musicians on it that I'm pretty sure are familiar to people who follow the Guess Who. Jim Cale is on here. I'm sure of that. I'm going to put my glasses on here so I can look. Yeah, Jim Cale, kind of the leader, I guess. Gary Peterson, of course, on drums and vocals. Dale Russell, Leonard Shaw, and Terry Hattie on lead vocals and guitar. A couple of guests in here. John Sherrod on keyboards and vocals. Rick Lazar on percussion. And Kevin Brett on guitar. So, not the original, kind of not really the band that people have come to know as the Guess Who. And the Guess Who've done this recently with some other albums too, but apparently Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman have gone to court and actually won back the Guess Who name now that Gary Peterson's no longer in the band, and they made people change the album titles. So some of the albums that had actually come out as Guess Who albums have been taken back and put out as some other band, solo artist stuff. And which is, to me is rightly so, because if you listen to the albums that I'm referring to, they don't really sound like the Guess Who at all. There's nothing that sounds like the Guess Who. So they're not really Guess Who albums. It's just Guess Who in name. I don't know anything about this album, other than I went and took a bunch of CDs that I had no use for and traded them in. Well, used the credits, the trade-in credits for. This was actually the only album that they had that I was kind of semi-interested in, so I took it. It didn't cost me as much as it says on the cover, so I was happy to get it for that small price. So that's the first album on it. Next album up is one of two sets that I ordered online. This cost me too much money, but I wanted to have these actually for a show I was doing, and one of them didn't come in time, but we're going to talk about them. This is a 2-album collection from Bachman Turner Overdrive, or BTO if you prefer. Head On and Freeways. We will open it and look at it. I have not seen it yet, and now I can't find the knife that I had. Of course, these never ever are timely when you need them, right? So we will try to find something else to open them with. I'm gonna have to start keeping a knife on my thing. So we're gonna open it, or we're gonna destroy it, one or the other. So this one comes with a kind of it's got the plastic cover as most of them usually do. But it has this little book cover on it, and then the CD is inside. So little book covers like this. It's got some writing on the back as well. And there it is. There's the 2 albums that are in it. This is, and then you've got the first album cover, Freeways, here. I owned this album at one time too, and I'm not really sure what happened. I'm assuming it went to my sister, but I don't know for sure. And then you have the other one, which is Head On, which is this one. I'm going to take this out, see what it looks like on the inside. So it's got a kind of blocker thing for the slide out here. There's the album disc in there. So it's got 2 albums on it, like I said, Head On and Freeways. They came out, I think they were their 5th and 6th studio albums. And already it's got this fold thing in here that shouldn't be in here, but it's in here anyway, so we'll fold it back. So, or maybe actually it was put in this position so that you would, no, it doesn't really have any reason to be there, but it's there. Anyways, it's just basically the lyrics. You've got the 2 pictures of both albums on the front and back. And you've got a picture of the band members here. And that's it, pretty much. That's what you get for a twofer, as they call it. Bachman Turner Overdrive, Head On, and Freeways. The significance of these 2 albums is that they are the last 2 to feature Randy Bachman in the early days before he left the band. Head On is a very good album, I think. Maybe their last really good album. Freeways, kind of a little too poppy. Does have a couple of interesting tracks on it. But Head On is pretty heavy for that period when they started to kind of back off from that heavy sound that they had earlier on. There's still a lot of that on Head On, then a lot less of it on Freeways. So that's the first one. Comes in that nice little holder book. And the second one is this one, another Bachman. Well, it does say Bachman Turner Overdrive on this cover set, but actually they weren't Bachman Turner Overdrive at this point. They changed and became just BTO. That was part of the conditions, so that Randy could use his name when he went on solo tour as Bachman. And so the deal was they could use the BTO part, but they could not use Bachman Turner Overdrive. That's my understanding of it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. There it is. It's open. It's kind of the same thing. It's got the sleeve with the cover showing both of the 2 albums here, which in this case is Street Action and Rock and Roll Nights. And then there's a back cover here. So this does not feature Randy Bachman, neither of these 2 albums. Is it Jim Cale? I think it's Jim Cale, or maybe I'm wrong. Actually, it's not Jim Cale. I don't think it's Jim Cale. I don't know why, because I have the Guess Who thing in my head. That's what it is. So this came out. These are the first 2 albums that don't feature Randy on them. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it is Jim Cale, to be honest. I'm getting confused here for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Oh, Jim Clench. That's who I was thinking of. I had Jim Cale on the brain because of the Guess Who album, but it's Jim Clench from April Wine here. So he comes in, takes over bass and vocals, and moves C.F. Turner to rhythm guitar, with Blair Thornton doing lead parts here. So I have listened to both of these albums. Rock and Roll Nights is the same lineup. I don't know much about Rock and Roll Nights. I've listened to it once, but I think the Street Action is pretty heavy album. Maybe the heaviest of the later, the post Randy Bachman, but actually quite a bit heavier than some of their other stuff as well. Pretty solid album. I do like the cover. It's quite good, actually. And the second one's a little bit more of that kind of. It's kind of got that kind of sleazy bit to it, I guess. So a good. The first one, Street Action, I think, is a pretty solid album. The other one maybe not so well. So you've got both Clench and C.F. Turner doing the lead vocal parts, with the other guys pretty much filling in and doing what they have always done. Rob Bachman and Blair Thornton on here, of course. So it's pretty good. I'll show you the inside covers. just basically words. And there's a little bit of story going on, talking about how BTO was changing and their history and all that, which is kind of interesting. I like this, pretty good. And then you've got, yeah, just more of the same. So that's my second double for BTO. So I now have the first 8 BTO albums. I haven't got any of this stuff in the 80s yet. I'll probably continue looking for that. But this I wanted to have for the episode that I did, ranking the album rankers from the 70s, which I featured on BTO here. So there you are. And it goes right back into its cover, which is good because it should protect it for a while. So I'll probably get into these 2 albums fairly quickly as well, because I'm kind of a big fan of this band. Next up, we are moving on. So picked up this one from Greta Van Fleet. I believe this is either their most recent or their first one. I think it might be their first one. I think this is their actually debut album from the Fires. Haven't listened to it other than online. I've not listened to it here, so we're going to open it here. Brand new album, of course. Nice cover inside for the album. So this is my first from this band. Like I said, I've listened to all of their albums online, but I've never actually owned one. I've always gotten to the store and decided on something else for some reason. So just basically lyrics for the songs. And then on the back page gives you a list of the musicians in the band. You can see that up close there. And yeah, kind of an interesting cover. It's almost a kind of wood nymph type thing going on, fire in the woods there. So Greta Van Fleet, debut album. I think this is their debut. If it isn't, I'm sure somebody will correct me. There you go. So next up, this was an album that they had in the used bin, which at the record store I normally go to, which surprised me because I'm always looking for stuff from this band and they never ever have any. But I got this one. Radar. This is Golden Earring from 1973. This has Radar Love, Candy Going Bad, Vanilla Queen, Big Tree, Blue Sea, Are You Receiving Me? So 5 tracks in total. Also has the purchase price here for the albums I bought. Wasn't supposed to be in there, but it is. So there's the album MCA label. Pull out the book and see if we got anything in here. Probably not much. Nope, pretty much just what you get on the back cover. Same thing on here. So a very basic thing, but it's the first Golden Earring album for me. So I'm hoping that more of them will show up in the bin. Because there's a band I've been trying to collect for the past couple of years. Difficult to find any. They never have anything new either, which is, I guess I could go online, but those 4 BTO albums cost me over $100. I don't really want to do that too often. This one here, I could have got the one album I'm missing by itself, but I decided that I like this package setup. So Judas Priest, it's a 2-4. This is Sad Wings of Destiny and Rockarola, their first 2 albums. Now I already own Rockarola, but I thought this is a nice kind of setup. It's in a box sleeve and it was used, so it wasn't as expensive as it would be to just get Sad Wings by itself. And of course I didn't take out the receipt again. Yeah, I got it. I got the 2 of them for less than it would have cost me to get the brand new one, and this is quite good. So there's a nice picture of the one album, and it's a 2-4 disc set, so it just opens. Well, I don't think it was supposed to do that, but it did. So now it's broken already. So there's the Rock-a-Rolla cover, and the Sad Wings one is probably on the other side. So yeah, the 2-disc, one here and one on the back side. See if I can put it back in without completely destroying it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, maybe it was supposed to do that. I don't know. I've not seen that style before, if that's the way it's supposed to go. And then it's got a really thick book, if I can get it out here. So you've got the cover, the cover, which looks like this, and then the back, which kind of is the same thing going on. Book here, got a picture of Rob Halford, kind of blurry looking in the clouds. And then all the lyrics and a little bit of a story about the band here. Ian Hill, K.K. Downing on this one. John Hirsch there. And the cover Rock-a-Rolla here. They're all kind of in the background. Basically just the lyrics of all of them. And then I think probably the last couple pages, more lyrics, but the final page, yeah, just talking about the band on this last page. So a nice book, and because it was a 2-4, I probably paid about maybe $5 or $6 less for this than I would have just to get the Sad Wings of Destiny, but I wanted Sad Wings of Destiny, so I thought, you know what, I already have Rock-a-Rolla, but the Rock-a-Rolla I have is just in a sleeve thing, and the album's always falling out, so this will be easier for me to play. So there we go. Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny, and Rock-a-Rolla combo. Next one up was an album I paid a lot for, but I wanted it. I really like it. It's brand new. I had to order it through the record store. Came back. Teaser Suite. Night Stalker. Kind of a wicked looking cover, actually. I kind of like it. And then you've got all of the members of the band. One of them is a brother and sister outfit there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. The two beside each other, brother and sister. I believe they're the brother and sister. They're the two that look alike, so that makes sense that they would be the two that are brother and sister. This band is quite good. It's kind of, when I think of this band, the reason I liked it, it's kind of an odd sound. It's got that kind of Iron Maiden style of heavy metal, with a kind of a Pat Benatar-like vocalist. She doesn't sound completely like Pat Benatar, but there's definitely some Pat Benatar inflections there going on, and I thought it was kind of a unique cover. I always wondered what Pat Benatar would sound like playing in a metal band, so with a little bit of that going on here. So we peel it up and we pull it out. So it's also in a cover. That's the cover. And then the inside album looks basically the same. There's the disc. I think there's like 8 songs on this album. So I have listened to this because I covered it. Is there actually a flip side to this thing? No, I don't think so. It's just one disc. It's just the way it was set up. So here's the disc. Not much to it, just basically the lyrics. All the songs on this are good. This is going to be I think this will make my top 10 albums of the year based on what I've heard so far. Really good stuff. And that's pretty much it, just the lyrics. They don't even tell you who's in the, they don't tell you anything about the band or anything inside the lyrics, which is, a little unfortunate. But I know a little bit about them because I did some reading on them before I bought the album. Yeah, so I think they're a Swedish band too. Please, anybody knows, please tell me. I'm pretty sure they're They're a Swedish band, but they're really good. It's really strong stuff. So I'm looking forward to this one going into my playlist and getting a lot of action out of it. So that's it for this week. Not really much this month. I didn't go all out. I've been trying to conserve because I spent too much on this one. Teaser Sweets, Night Stalker album. This one wasn't too bad for 2.4 because they had it. Didn't have to order it. This was a bit of a steal. The Golden Earring album. The Greta Van Fleet one was, I think, around 14, so not too bad. And then these two were too much, $50 or $54 each, I think, for the two of them. Way too much, and most of that was the because it came from a state, so the exchange rate plus the delivery rate. So, and this one was about $4 or $5, so not bad for that. So I'm looking forward to giving them all a listen to. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you got any comments about any of the albums or answer any of the questions I've said throughout the video, you can do that in the comment section below. And we will be back at the end of September with another new albums purchased episode. So hope to see you all then, and take care and goodbye.